I'm just repeating the previous one, and like we have started and initiated in the previous lecture a talk about the MOS curves and the MOS diodes, their behavior, their working in the energy band. We started about that. Now, in today's lecture, we are going to understand about the MOS curves. MOS curve, it means the kind of a characteristic, exactly how they behave once they exactly gone proceeding with the application of a voltage and other phenomena. So talking up here shows the energy band gap diagram. If we come up here, we see figure 6a is this one. If we go up here and we find it out under this situation. So taking this kind of a case here, if you understand that it is related with the V greater than 0 condition. In the previous discussion, we talked about that here we have a metal, and this metal is connected with the voltage that may be positive, that may be negative one. And while this voltage is connected with the positive, then it exactly creates a situation in the energy band gap. If you see here, you would be able to get that this energy band gap is bent towards. It means it shows a bending and the lowering of edges that we have discussed in the previous case. On the basis of that, we have just taken this example. Now we are going to discuss this particular curve. So energy band gap diagram for ideal MOS with band bending identical that shown in figure 4. The charge distribution is shown in 6p. The same distribution if we go for here, and we would be able to get this distribution. So if we see here that this distribution indicate that if it is a positive one, then definitely electron charge distribution will be more towards about the metal because we are connecting a potential there. And that potential is greater than zero, it means a positive potential. And exactly it shows an opposite phenomena that they are going to be reflected. That is being shown up here. This is exactly being shown here in this B figure. So coming up here, in the absence of any work function difference, the applied voltage will appear partly across the oxide and partly across the semiconductor. See, that we have already talked about. Like, suppose that when it is in a zero pi situation, so zero pi situation is somewhat the ideal. We have a semiconductor here, we have a metal here, and we have a silicon dioxide gap. Very simple. And you know what happens once we have a silicon dioxide gap is here, so it creates a band gap. And talking about the work function, so that work function is a part at the semiconductor material side and it is a part at the metal side. So semiconductor material and the metal side, we have that part, and such part will have equal and opposite. So it means we already talked about under equilibrium, the work functions are equal to each other and there is no difference in the work function. The same thing we are taking. Any work function difference, applied voltage will appear partly across the oxide and partly across the semiconductor. This is the equilibrium. So V is simply V naught plus. If you see here in this diagram, you would be able to get, if suppose you are taking a simple concept of impurity concentration. If it is being taken as an impurity concentration here on x-axis, and we are taking on y-axis the maximum dependent layer, we are talking about the maximum depletion layer width, W1. So if we are trying to calculate this one with respect to impurity concentration NB, then we get such kind of. And that graph indicates that if suppose you are increasing the carrier concentration and talking about the depletion layer width, so this depletion layer width will keep on decreasing. That's a very common and known phenomena. Nothing new I'm telling you here. It's a common phenomena that with respect to the increase of charge carrier concentration, there will be more burden on junction, and when there will be a more burden on junction, so depletion region will be less. So this is exactly the relationship shown up here. If you are able to understand this one, then the session is open to ask things. So we got that. हमें समझ में आ गया. We got that this depletion layer width will have a reverse relationship with the carrier concentration. If you increase the carrier concentration, depletion width will be. That's why this kind of a graph for silicon and gallium arsenide is being shown here. So the maximum depletion rate width versus impurity concentration of silicon and gallium arsenide under the strong inversion condition. So let's move on. So we have some sort of the finding out the formula related with the capacitance junction, and that exactly not a part of this one. Let's coming up the next one. So directly coming on this one. If we see here, so looking for capacitive effect, so important part. So high frequency MOS CV curve showing the approximate segment dash line. So now we have a target to understand that some sort of the capacitance is there in MOS or not. So that curve is indicating yes, there is a capacitive effect when we are applying the voltage. And that capacitive effect we can understand through the equations that is being shown up here. So if you go here, you know that if you are looking for capacitor, a parallel plate capacitor, what kind of equation you may use? So this is simply equation related with the Q equals to CV. You know that. If it is a semiconductor charge distribution, QS, and this is the C naught. So you know this equation that Q equals to CV. That if a certain material has a certain capacitance, and if it is applied with the voltage V, so this has a relationship between the Q, V, and C. This is exactly the formula. And you know that a parallel place capacitor is generally represented epsilon naught Ka upon D, like that equation is there. So here the same thing has been taken from the relationship. If the V naught is the potential across the oxide, we have semiconductor. Here we have metal here, in between there is a oxide. If this oxide is persisting, this voltage V naught, when this oxide is persisting, this voltage V naught, then Qs upon C naught will be the relationship. The C naught is indicating that we have capacitance across this one. What exactly the parallel plate capacitor? Parallel plate capacitor is nothing but we have two plates segregated by some dielectric material. And we have one side metal, another side we have semiconductor. Both are having charge carriers. And this oxide layer is working like a dielectric material. So it becomes like a parallel plate capacitor. So where epsilon naught is the field in the oxide. So this is taken as a field equation. Qs is the charge per unit area in the semiconductor. C naught is the oxide capacitance per unit area, and that has been taken. So the same has been clearing up. So if the total capacitance of C of the MOS diode is in a series combination of oxide capacitance and semiconductor depletion region capacitance, see, this is again very important. So now we are having the two different capacitors. One at the oxide side, and second at within the semiconductor, because semiconductor itself has its capacitance. So what they are saying simply C naught is the oxide capacitance. This is to be taken CO, and here semiconductor capacitance of the junction has been taken as a CJ. And if they are in series, so we know that the capacitance can be added in series like C equals to C naught Cj upon C naught plus C. Very, very simple equation. So simply we have a series combination, nothing else have to remember. Only the one simple thing is like we have a capacitance for semiconductor, we have a capacitance for the oxide, and because they are connected with each other, they are in series. And when they are in series, the net capacitance can be calculated with the formula of series combination capacitance. This is 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2. So this is the final equation. Simplifying and substituting these values. Now we are having C by C naught. So we have Cj 1 plus 1 upon Cj. So you know that we have already discussed junction capacitance in the diode section. This is the formula related with this. So exactly, if I'm talking about this one, so the C upon C naught can be the equation final. So this is all related with what kind of a voltage you are applying, what is the concentration of charge carrier, what is basically the electric field, and what is the basically the electric constant, what is the distance and separation between this junction has a depletion region. So this predicts that capacitance will decrease with increasing metal plate voltage while the surface is being depleted. You see here, this voltage is in denominator part. So that's why they are saying, if suppose you are increasing this voltage, then obviously this capacitive effect will be decreasing. That's important, very simple. It is related with the equation. Not going here and there much about simple talk. This is directly related with the V. V is the applied voltage. When the applied voltage is negative, there is no depletion region and we have an accumulation of holes at the semiconductor surface. As a result, the total capacitance is close to the oxide capacitance E naught X upon B. And the second time they are saying at this situation when we are applying this negative voltage, the Cj will not be available. So once the Cj will not be available, then this C equals to almost equal to C. That happens because we know that if suppose we are making it forward bias under the forward bias situation, holes electrons keep on moving, junction capacitance of semiconductors does not persist. That's why they take this one. So well, this is simply giving the equation which is related with the oxide capacitance and junction capacitance. You have to take care about when this oxide capacitance will persist and when the junction capacitance of the semiconductor will sustain. So when such situation happens, unless this kind of a situation when this happens, you have to take care about the condition, all conditions, not one or two condition, all condition which affects your junction capacitance. So when once the junction capacitance will be affected, obviously in the MOS diode, the total capacitance will be. So here we have all these diagrams. We have discussed about that just previously. Coming up here, finding out basically the high frequency MOS CV curve showing its approximated segment inserted below the series connection of the capacitor, effect of frequency on CV curve. So if we go for this, we are working with the frequency effect. And before that, we are talking about the series connection of the capacitor. See here, this is internally the diagram. So I'm just making it zoom for you. This is a simple diagram. If you see here, we have this one. This is your MOS diode. And in this MOS diode, you are applying this voltage V here. It is a ground connected. Within this substrate or a semiconductor material, you may have electrons, you may have holes. So that may create their junctions. And once they will be creating their junctions, so at that junction, it may have a CJ. And you see here, the CG capacitance is varying. It's a variable because many factors changes concentration of electrons and holes. Once the concentration of electrons and holes changes, obviously the effect of this junction capacitance. While we have this C naught as a capacitance of the silicon oxide that we have here, the oxide layer which is being corrected here. So this is the capacitance. And it is only depending upon one thing. What is the thickness of silicon oxide? Initially, you have just taken. So you see this curve indicates C naught, the value of C naught. It means this one. This remains almost constant. And with respect to voltage from minus to 0, it has no effect. So creating this voltage, let's see, this is a zero situation. When we have a zero bias situation, we have certain capacitance. At this point, you see this is almost equivalent to C. And at the same situation, you have certain junction capacitance also that can be taken up here. So in this figure, it is shown up here how it is being changing. So this C naught having certain value fixed up here at the 0 voltage. Now suppose you are increasing this negative bias. If you are increasing this negative bias, so this capacitance, this is the total capacitance value. Exactly. So this total capacitance values just almost remains equal to 0 to negative, almost equal to only C naught. Because we have just talked about it. Providing the negative voltage will vanish out junction capacitance. When you give this negative voltage here, it is a p substrate, holes will be moving up here, electrons will be moving away, junction will not sustain, and when there is no junction, obviously what happens? The junction capacitance will not be there. Under this situation, important point, very, very important and very simple. When you are applying this negative voltage here, only C naught remains, junction capacitance will not be here. So that's why the total capacitance is equivalent to almost C naught. But if you are increasing positive voltage, then this positive will be attracting holes towards this, are reflecting towards this one and creating this one. So this creates a junction capacitance. This creates a junction capacitance, and the junction capacitance Cj and C naught are in series. And you know that when capacitance are in series, the net capacitance reduces, because in series they have a formula 1 upon C equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3 and so on. So this is the reason why this curve is constant here and why it is now falling down. This is called as a CV curve of MOS type. This is very interesting. Same time, what the second curve indicates the voltage is okay, the same figure is okay, but we are doing one more additional experiment in that. What additional experiment we are doing? We are simply increasing or changing the frequency. If you are changing the frequency, then what happens with respect to the change in frequency? As you are making the frequency high, so with respect to change in frequency, obviously this capacitive effects will be keep on changing. That shows that with respect to increase in change in frequency, so this shows lowering of junction capacitance. And while you are reducing the frequency, this reduction of frequency increases the value of, sorry, just opposite. If suppose we are talking about the increase in frequency, just talking about the increase in frequency. So this increase in frequency is basically changing the capacitive value in such a way that it is increasing the capacitance. It is increasing the capacitance here. And once this capacitance is increased, the net capacitance is reduced because junction capacitance and the main capacitance. So frequency is increasing the capacitance. See here. So once this part of the capacitance with junction capacitance will be increased, as it will be increased 1 upon C, 1 upon C, the net will be decreasing because they are reciprocal to it. So exactly that happens here, same separate situation, and that is being represented. So with respect to lowering of frequency, this junction capacitance will be decreasing and net capacitance will be like this. So this is the ratio and the relationship with respect to the frequency that is being taken. If you go for this second curve indicate effect of frequency, CV curve. This is the basically important section here. Session is open. You may ask question you feel. So if you see here, the simple like if we have a MOS diode, maybe we are having two different capacitance. And the net capacitance, what we are doing in this curve, we are simply having a net capacitance. So net capacitance is a combination of capacitance of semiconductor, capacitance of silicon oxide, SiO2, and C naught and Cj are in series. So this curve shows that below zero, it means for all negative voltages, this has Cj 0. When Cj is 0, then total capacitance is equal to C naught. Total capacitance is equals to C naught. While we are having 0 plus voltage, then Cj becomes effective. And when the Cj becomes effective, then the net capacitance will be 1 upon C naught plus 1 upon Cj equals to 1 upon C. So this will changes the net value. That's exactly. So this shows this is the maximum of C naught and minimum of this C minimum. So this is the two level. In the second curve, it is being indicated that suppose you are changing the frequency also, this frequency changes the curve like this one. So if you see here, this particular section represents 10 hertz, it's a 10 square hertz, it's a 10 ratio of 4 hertz, and so on. So by changing this frequency, changing all these values would help you to get the different curve values. This is exactly the meaning of. So here it starts from C naught and reaches to C minimum at a certain frequency. If certain frequency is there, you may increase the frequency, there is a chance. There is also a chance. You may have more C minimums if you change the frequency further on. Like that. So, well, I'm concluding this one that today we have a target to understand about the CV curve. CV curve, it means when we are applying a voltage across a MOS diode, does there is any effect about the change in capacitance? Yes, then we have to study about that. For that, what considerations we have taken? The consideration has been taken that the MOS which we are using is having a P type of substrate. And the voltage which is being provided at the metal terminal is negative or positive. So considering all these effects, one important factor we can conclude, which is the number one factor, that if suppose a negative voltage is applied at the terminal of V, it means at the terminal of metal contact, that shows that exactly junction capacitance will not be there and the overall capacitance of the MOS is just equal to the capacitance of semiconductor. Point number one, capacitance of silicon oxide, SiO2. So the oxide layer has C naught. So important point, when we have voltage less than zero, simple, it's like simple, just remember like that. When we have voltage less than zero in P-type semiconductor MOS, when we have voltage less than zero, that means that this voltage is giving C equals to C naught. When we are applying voltage greater than V equals to V naught, then it shows that overall junction capacitance will be effective and net capacitance varies. And this variation is indicated here in this figure. Same time, we also talked about that this capacitance is not only affected by the voltage, but also affected by the frequency. So if you see here that frequency changes are there, then this MOS may have a different performance. So what it comes, this shows you that if you have a MOS diode, you can use this MOS diode like a capacitor. You can use this MOS diode in the devices. It's a very small device. You can use like that. And how you can vary its capacitance? You can vary its capacitance with respect to voltage, with respect to frequency. It means this can be a sensitive device. This device can be used for the detection of voltage as well as for the detection of frequency, because it's a very simple, like it's a practical application. A thing which is affected by something is a detection of that. Like if suppose, just take an example, if suppose I'm sensitive about the fragrances, if I'm sensitive about the fragrances and somebody has used the deo and deodorants like that, and like is nearby me, so it might be possible that I'm feeling uncomfortable, that I can easily tell you somebody is here who just, so this is a kind of a detection because I'm sensitive. Similarly, a device or anything which is affected by something is a wonderful detective things for that. So what we do? we generally find out that voltage, capacitance, and frequency, they are related with each other. So if a device is frequency dependent, it can easily respond according to the frequency. The different frequency it can work upon. Like just take an example, you are having FM radios with you, and you see at 91.9 FM you have a different music, at 92.7 you have a different music. So at different frequency you have a different music. So how this is being connected? It means some sort of the circuit variation should be there. So once it is receiving 91.9, second time it is receiving 92.7, and so on. So how it is possible? Circuit variation. So you can say the frequency is tuning a circuit. And how it is tuning the circuit? It is changing the value of LCR component. L inductance, R resistance, C capacitance. So if suppose MOS is there and a frequency comes which is 91.9, create the different circuit value. A frequency comes which gives a 92.7, give the different values. So that's why you may have a different kind of a reception of signal. So this is exactly the frequency difference. So here we are concluding this CV curve, MOS CV curve, depends upon voltage as well as the frequency. This is my today's session. Hope you all might be liking this. You might be understanding this, and you really gone through what exactly the utility of MOS diode while we are taking it as a capacitor. That's important.